Hello YouTube, welcome back to some major news. I believe this is major news. Concerning Niji, I think Niji Sanji. Yeah, the parent company is Anycolor. I didn't think it would get any worse than them just being a black company. This is a suggestion from my Discord from None. And if you guys want to suggest any videos, playlists, compilations, anything like that, please consider checking out my Discord server. It's down in the description. And while you're down there, please consider subscribing. I'd love to hit 500 subs by the end of Christmas. We're so close to Christmas. Also, I stream on Twitch now, uh, instead of YouTube, because YouTube sucks. Let's go.
Well, guys, I say it every time. At this point, it's a catchphrase, but Niji Sanji, otherwise known as Anycolor, their parent company, is truly the gift that keeps on giving. The downfall of this company ever since the beginning of this year has been unprecedented. It's hard to believe that back in June 2022, Anycolor used to be worth $1.2
Yeah,
billion.
used to be a billion.
Yes, you heard that right. Billion,
Billion.
1.2 billion. And yes, we're talking about a VTuber corporation. It's crazy. But the company has since
They could have just been printing money, man.
then lost more than
Instead.
half of their entire value. And what's even worse for investors is that there is zero hope for recovery. The downfall of Niji Sanji started in the beginning of 2024, back around February, when it turned out that one of their beloved talents tried to evaporate her soul out of her body, if you get what I mean. Mainly.
You know what? I guess she could have said it, told the artist to kind of have it like it, but like when I see this model, I see Donkey Bird. It's like clothes. That's all I see.
Due to the very toxic work culture at Niji Sanji. This was a very big shock because prior to this, Niji Sanji was seen as one of the top VTubing agencies on the planet. No one saw this coming. It didn't take long for us to see how toxic they were internally. Because instead of apologizing, Niji Sanji put up some of their top VTubers to do a black screen stream, pretty much blaming the VTuber who almost lost their life and getting massive hate for it. This was truly the beginning of the end for Niji Sanji, and they have screwed up so many times throughout this year that I had to create a playlist full of videos of them doing dumb shit. But even with all that, we've never truly reached a point like the one we found ourselves in today.
Yeah, this is just wild. Like, you can, it's a black company, yeah, sure, but that's because they're a corporation. Who would trust corporations anyway? They're going to go for profits, and they're going to treat their employees like they're not real people. But this is crazy. This is like
for Niji Sanji
another
decided
step.
to reach out to Fallside in order to leak the fact that there's currently a predator within Niji Sanji's ranks and that they are covering for him. There are many victims here, both inside and outside of Niji Sanji, and the stakes have never been higher. We need to talk about this, so let's do it. But first, a quick sponsor. Ever wondered what would happen if we combined the amazing art style in League of Legends with an old school MMO game? Well, no need to wonder anymore, because that's what Core Punk is all about. With many classes and different...
He got me hyped. I was like, League of Legends, that's that's in my wheel.
Different subclasses at your disposal, you can make the character that suits your playstyle the best. This is a fully voiced 18+ game that has no hand-holding. If you've played any MMOs or MOBAs before, you will feel right at home. You will have a lot of progression ahead of you in terms of leveling up your talents and your weapon masteries. There are also many professions such as alchemy. And let's not forget the amazing mounts and pets that you can earn through gameplay. So you'll be busy. Look, if you're interested in a massive game ran by an independent studio, click the link in the description or the pinned comment to pre-order the game and be able to play today in early access. Thank you so much, Artificial Core, for sponsoring this video. So Astro Arcadia is a male VTuber that's part of Niji Sanji's English branch. Niji Sanji will introduce new VTubers in waves, and Astro was part of the iLuna wave alongside 5 other VTubers. They debuted in summer 2022. Back in February of 2024, as the disaster surrounding Selen was happening, Raziel Warmonic, who used to be a moderator of Luca Kaneshiro, a massive Nijisanji English VTuber, put out a tweet saying not to add fuel to the fire, but since I was close to a member of Nijisanji for a long time, I am absolutely not surprised it's starting to crumble. I was vented to about a male member from iLuna, sorry I can't remember which, this was a voice convo from over a year ago, that was harassing and guilt-tripping new girls to the point that other members would go quiet or exclude them from their voice chats. Yet management apparently did nothing and the members themselves had to self-regulate. She then added, I just got confirmation from another individual, it was Aster. I will not name who told me this, no more witch hunts. There were 3 male members in iLuna, and she had confirmed that she was talking specifically about Aster. Nijisanji was already under a lot of fire. This was definitely fuel to the fire. A day later, on 4chan, DMs between Aster and Scarla leaked.
Not the sigh. That's the first thing I say. This guy's a creep, okay?
Scarla is another well-known VTuber, also part of the iLuna wave, debuting with Aster. This conversation was painful and awkward to read. Aster was bickering about voice chat etiquette, and Scarla did not know how to respond except for saying sorry repeatedly. Saying, Aster, I'm sorry, I'm just overwhelmed by everything, I'm sorry I hurt you, I'm sorry I forget everything, I'm just overwhelmed by the messages. I don't know what to say to you, that's why I didn't respond.
Oh, that's worse now. The sigh. Oh, screw this guy,
I'm
man.
not ignoring you, I just don't know what to say, I'm sorry. There was also another conversation in which she says, I'm sorry, Aster, I keep making you feel this way, with him replying, I mean, is that it? Like, what else do you want, man? She's apologizing. And then within the span of 30 minutes, he kept pushing over and over and over, not getting a reply and saying, seriously, so you're purposefully ignoring me? It was clear that this DM leak was trying to make him look bad, right? Because all Scarla was doing was apologize and he wasn't letting it go. It was certainly matching the description that Raziel had provided about Aster, guilt-tripping new girls and even harassing them. Knowing that this was 4chan though, many people were concerned that these were just fake. I mean, who's gonna leak this? Scarla? That would be an easy way for her to get fired. And Aster? Why would he make himself look bad? But then, something weird happened. On the same day those 4chan messages leaked, both Aster and Scarla posted matching hearts at the same exact timestamp. Right after this,
and we all know they have access to their accounts. The company has access to their accounts. So, yeah. What was it? When Selene or Dokibird was having issues, they posted on her account, if I remember correctly. So, who knows, man?
They proceeded to stream together, completely unprompted, right? Typically,
together.
they post weekly schedules telling their viewers what they're going to do on their channels. This was not announced. This had happened all of a sudden on the same day. This made some people suspicious. Like, why would you go this far to do all these things right after the messages leaked on 4chan? Are you trying to hide something? Did Nijisanji put you up to this to try and hide the fact that you guys have a terrible relationship? It smelled fishy, but there was not enough proof to really conclude anything, so people moved on. That was, of course, until April 2024, when Raziel, who was Luca Kaneshiro's ex-mod, posted a 58-page document detailing her experience with him and how he was entitled, exploitative, and abusive towards her, as well as other members within Nijisanji. This is where, on page 55, she would include this bombshell under allegations. Here's what she had to say. Aster Arcadia harassing other coworkers. I can confirm that Luca Kaneshiro said that multiple girls were coming to him about the issue since management wouldn't do anything, and he discussed it with both Illyra and I. Illyra being Illyra Pandora, another Nijisanji English VTuber. She then continues. I personally told him to gather as much evidence as possible and bring it to management since it shouldn't be Luca's and Illyra's job, to regulate this issue. To
really
my understanding,
their employees, if you're working at an office job and there's like issues, there's a reason you guys have HR, right? Like, there's a reason there's HR there, because I mean, this is nothing different. Just because they're like VTubers does not mean like they shouldn't have the same rights as like office workers. This makes no sense that they regulate this themselves.
Nothing was done about it. She also showed a message that was sent to her by a Nijisanji English VTuber saying, to help you with clarity, I remember that incident, it was Aster. This was back during February 7th, when Raziel had tweeted about the fact that someone from Iluna was harassing and guilt-tripping new girls. When she said, "I just got confirmation from another individual that it was Aster," she was referring to that VTuber who had DM'd her on Twitter. This, of course, was a very serious accusation, but people were mostly focused on Luka Kaneshiro being a weirdo in these 58 pages rather than really pursuing this, because other than this random Twitter DM, we didn't really have concrete proof. And besides, people were more interested with how Luka beat his meat in VR chat without Raziel's consent anyway. I mean, the shock value from that alone was crazy. It made people slowly forget about the Aster.
What? Wait, is this the guy who that mod was modding for? Oh, it is Luka. What the heck?
People were more interested with how Luka beat his meat in VR chat without Raziel's consent anyway. I mean, the shock value from that alone was crazy. It made people slowly forget about the Astra allegations. However, that all changed just a few days ago on December 6th, 2024. That was the day that Fallside had published this video titled Exclusive. Nijisanji English VTuber speaks out against Nijisanji English Liver. He had done something unprecedented. A Nijisanji VTuber had reached out to him from within the company to tell him that yes, Aster Arcadia is a serial harasser. This was the same Nijisanji English VTuber who had messaged Raziel and told her, "I remember that incident, it was Aster." Also sharing some never-before-seen DMs she had sent Raziel, like, "A lot of people waited for you to tell the truth for a while because it had been an issue, so I'm happy you finally did. Do not worry about those that are sending hate. This truth in the long run will help so many people." He then shared messages of that Nijisanji English VTuber venting back in September about Aster's behavior, saying, "When I had a mental breakdown and went to Twitch, it was because Aster was saying like he wants to fly me out to Japan, saying weird sexual shit, sex pesting my friends. I went to management, they wouldn't even speak to him. I was really considering graduating. They were really considering leaving the company over this. But their manager talked them out of it. They then said, because it feels gross to me, like I feel like I'm hiding his behavior because it's not just me, it's many, many girls. A lot of my friends."
How can you let this as a company go? You know this will come out. Like, it's not like you're. First of all, you're a VTuber black company. Like, you're not paying these guys as well as like some other companies. So you have no like. I guess you have no leverage. You not really leverage. Like I could see if they were like paying them like what 98% of merch sales and the company keeps 3%. I can see like how you could maybe think, oh, they'll never leave, they'll never do anything, they'll never tell anyone. But like, it's a VTuber company. They take way more, and they do nothing. Apparently, they just do nothing. So like, how can you let this happen and possibly burn your company down? Like with having this like hanging over your head. Obviously, they burned the company down themselves, and this is just adding to the fire. But like, this was gonna come out anyway.
Also adding that Nijisanji was too scared to take any action because they didn't want more bad PR after everything that happened this year. The name of this Nijisanji.
This would be good PR, man. Like you helped your female members. What the heck?
Nijisanji VTuber, who is a victim of Aster Arcadia, wasn't revealed in this video. Now obviously there were people doubting the source of information, saying why would you want to censor the name? Revealing it would add so much more weight to these accusations. But in order to understand that, we have to, yet again, go back to 4chan. A little while ago, a bunch of different messages leaked on 4chan between that one Nijisanji English VTuber who had reached out to Fallside and a handful of their friends. Some of these messages were from that VTuber stream chat, but the majority were from Discord DMs. There were some morbid revelations, like how this VTuber was straight up in debt because Nijisanji had withdrawn all the VTuber model costs and the equipment costs from their salary. So after a long time being there, they still have not gotten a proper salary, barely affording to eat. Truly an incredible company to work at. But what these logs allow us to do is to cross-reference the messages shown in Fallside's video to the messages here. For example, if we take the message "he wants to fly me out to Japan," We find it right here following the same timestamp that was shown in the Discord logs in Falside's video. I have no idea who leaked this, but these logs paint a very dark picture about the worries this VTuber had of even revealing this information to the public. Look, the topic of Aster came up multiple times in these conversations, and at some point, one of the friends of this Nijisanji English VTuber wanted them to expose the harassment that they had endured from Aster to the public. They expressed shock when the VTuber was reluctant, saying, "I thought they don't fucking fire people? Like I was under the impression it literally can't happen." With the Nijisanji VTuber then saying, "If you do something bad enough." The friend said, "But you are unironically a victim. Fuck them, you did nothing wrong at all. Why are we even scared? They treat you like shit. Some creep harasses you. You get fired? Question mark? Make that make sense." With the VTuber saying, "That's why it's 50-50. They either ignore it or fire me." So this Nijisanji English VTuber actually loves being a VTuber and they don't want to get fired.
Man,
they had to quit their IRL job for this and they don't have anything else they can do at the moment. If Falside had irresponsibly leaked their name, their identity, then Nijisanji would have terminated
this company needs to burn to the ground. Seriously, man.
Them, well, immediately, and Aster would have gotten away with it anyway. It's counterproductive, and this is why I won't leak it either. So look, even with the VTuber wanting
you
to
have like a duty of care to your like employees. I guess most of my American is like, at least in Europe, at least in Europe, companies have a level of like care to the employees because we have rights. Little thing called rights, which I hear horror stories about Japanese companies and horror stories about American companies, and that's just wild to me. That shit is just wild.
Their job, the friends of the VTuber were seeing this injustice unfold and they couldn't just not do anything about it. They wanted the Nijisanji VTuber, their friend, to get their justice. This is why they reached out to Falside. Here we can see a conversation with one of the VTuber's friends and Falside. This was Falside's first contact with this group of people.
Not gonna lie, he's been saying Falside. I first heard people say false ID, and that's been stuck in my head. This is like throwing me off that he's saying Falside.
They agreed on a time to call and then went ahead and did it. During the call, the VTuber's friend showed him all the screenshots of the past logs we just saw, of them talking about Aster and the harassment they had to endure for a very long time. The call lasted 1 hour. On November 11th, the Nijisanji English VTuber who was harassed by Aster had reached out to Falside and added them on Discord, saying, "Hey, thanks for accepting my request. Blank told me he sent you some things and I was wondering if you'd be able to have a call with me." This is referring to the friend of the VTuber that Falside had called for an hour. And Falside replied with, "Sure, not a problem. What time works for you?" This was when the VTuber would reveal to Falside that Aster had done this not to just them, but to their friends, to multiple people. The VTuber initially thought that maybe he was just bad at communicating, but seeing the fact that he was doing it to so many people at the same time made them understand, okay, no, this guy's actually
it's definitely
creep.
not.
And
If
he
there's
would
multiple
vary his creepiness level
victims
from person to person. With some people, he would tell them, "Oh man, you should really come to Japan. We could hold hands, sit in the same hotel room, have a great time." And to some others, he would be more inappropriate, mentioning things like how they should be naked together. Additionally, this VTuber
creepy creep Riz. Bro has Bro has predator Riz.
VTuber had felt really guilty because they had brought one of their IRL friends from outside of Nijisanji to come and play games with them, plus some other friends, and Aster. After a certain period of time, that friend would then also receive inappropriate messages from Aster. The guy was an unapologetic...
Yeah, that is weird. That is weird, and you'd feel terrible if, like, it's just your friend and they get harassed because in your mind it's your fault because you introduced them, but it's not. What a fucking creep, man! What the heck?
The VTuber also had shared
Put him
DMs
in prison.
with Aster.
Get him
they had streamed
touched by men. See how he likes
League of Legends together, and Aster really didn't like the banter that the VTuber had towards his jungling skills. The reason why this is significant is that due to the style of writing of this message, we can draw a parallel to the style of writing in these messages between Aster and Scarlet. This is...
Wait, I'll be honest, that wasn't just a misunderstanding. That was taking what I said and turning it up to 100 and giving me the entire match. Digging at me the entire match. Okay. I already knew you'd do something like that. If I jungled, what? But not to that level. It generally felt like you were being purposefully toxic at me for not doing what you wanted in the game. What is this about?
The reason why this is significant is that due to the...
Is this about League? I thought it was like a... I thought Mujin was was just saying jungling like a euphemism for like...
the
Okay,
style of
never
writing
mind.
of this message, we can draw a parallel to the style of writing in these messages between Aster and Scarlet. This is simply how he talked. The pieces of the puzzle were starting to slowly come together at this point. Aster was manipulative and he had many different victims to practice his manipulation tactics on. The information provided was already enough to shock the VTubing community to its core. But as you might have guessed, things only...
It must have worked. That's the thing, it must have worked. Otherwise, he's just crazy for doing this without like any positive reinforcement to like tell him to carry on. So at some point it must have worked because if he kept bombarded by rejection all the time, he would stop at some point, right? Surely, unless his brain broken.
Only got worse from here and escalated further. Aster had debuted alongside two other male VTubers in the iLuna wave. One of those VTubers was Kyo. The thing with Kyo was that he had graduated around the time the Selen controversy was...
These designs, this is the only dude I see these. Okay, dude.
alongside two other male VTubers in the iLuna wave. One of those VTubers was Kyo. The thing with Kyo was that he had graduated around the time the Selen controversy was going on. He was done with the company and left in February of 2024 after his final stream. In March, he went independent and became Quinn Bennett, and has been streaming ever since. However, shortly after debuting at Nijisanji, he had created a podcast series with Aster and another VTuber by the name of Ren. The series was short-lived, ending after 2 episodes. But people didn't really think much of it, assuming they were just busy and moved on. However, that all changed recently. Because very shortly after Falside's video, Quinn tweeted this, saying, "All I'm saying is there's a reason the podcast only lasted 2 episodes."
Did he hear
to
about
many,
the issues?
this was a subtweet directed towards Aster. He was blaming Aster for the fact that the podcast ended so quickly. As you can imagine, this was a lot of fuel added to the fire. Quinn then proceeded to add even more fuel by deleting the tweet, making people want to talk about it even more, thinking that he may have gotten in trouble with Nijisanji over this tweet. But then he made another tweet saying this, "Never mind. I feel it's irresponsible to be vague given the circumstances, and to be honest, I want to stay in my own lane. Even if I personally dislike someone, that doesn't give or remove credibility from a third-party story. My opinion wasn't meant to validate or validate someone else's experience, which is why I deleted the post. Hope that clears everything up." But by...
That's true, but brother, you should have thought about this beforehand. You're either all in or you're or you're out and you're on your own lane. You should have just ignored this if this is the route you were going, but if it wasn't and you wanted to post it anyway, be upfront, man. Tell him. Stop vague posting. That's what I don't like. I hear stories about people vague posting on Twitter and stuff. If you have beef and you can't sort it like off the internet, do it, man. At them. Just at them, bro.
Then, the damage was already done. Quinn knew he could just move on from it, so he tweeted out, clearing things up, linking a Twitch stream. The stream was around 27 minutes long, and it was him talking about the situation at length. What he had to say did not in any way make Aster look good. Watch.
Wait, so he didn't want to stay in his online then? Make your mind, stop flip-flopping. But it's good that he's just saying it how it is.
To hide
I
this
prefer this.
aspect of the puzzle piece. I really don't want to talk about this because if I don't talk about it, I'm seen as protecting a predator. If I do, I'm seen as being messy. So to be honest, I'm going to be as vague as possible. But another reason I didn't like this person is because there were some stories going around and some things I saw where they behaved weird towards women. Okay. Nothing criminal, nothing to the extent of what has recently come out, but I didn't like how they seemed kind of like they would like nag certain women about certain things or kind of put them in positions to feel guilty, or pounce on like newer members that were in the company and that didn't know about this behavior. Like they were not the most healthy when they interacted with women. And I'm going to be honest about that. I'm not going to cover it up.
This was interesting because the wording he was using here, guilt tripping, for example, was the exact same wording that was used by Raziel when she spoke about Aster.
It does confirm the whole thing. So I'm guessing the company made them stream together. After those DMs got leaked.
It was lining up, but right. Quinn didn't end it here. Obviously, he had way more to say.
Are the interactions between women allegations? I witnessed some of them myself. Okay, I witnessed some of them myself. Some of them happened to some of my friends.
That's straight that's just straight confirmation. Like, yeah, it's obviously you hear stuff in the background, and obviously you can basically like kind of pull yourself away from them based on those rumors, based on those things that you hear, but then you can, if you just see it straight out, right? Like, yeah, that's just bad first-hand experience,
but
man.
I'm not gonna say who, and I'm not gonna say what. I'm just saying I didn't like it. I didn't like it, so I didn't like this person. Okay. Now, this is bringing me back to my original
and happening
point.
to your
Should
friends
you guys
as well,
even
man?
know any
Jesus.
of this shit from me? Should I be the one telling you this? Fuck no. Okay.
Well, there you have it. Quinn had seen this behavior happen to some of his female friends. But again, this was not everything he had to say. It got worse.
Since everyone is making me feel guilty for maybe covering up abuse or whatever, I will say in my personal, very biased opinion, okay? Take this with like 800 milligrams of sodium, enough for you to like die from sodium overdose. This, unfortunately, based off of what I have seen, does not seem like something that is completely out of character of behavior for this person to potentially do. Like, I could see a universe where this happens. Okay?
Okay.
Is my point. It's not like I would
first-hand witness, and knowledge of character, pretty much. It's just
never ever see this happening. That's not how I feel. Okay? I'm gonna be honest with you. All right?
Now, it's really interesting seeing this chat, right? Because obviously he still has a lot of viewers that came from Nijisanji, and many of them are not happy about the fact that he's speaking out about this. Quinn, actually don't say that. Bro, you're saying too much. Question mark. Dude, just stop.
I hate fans like this, man. They're so loyal to a company that fucking hates them. Oh my... Jesus. Don't be... Stop. Never be loyal to companies, man. That's just... I just can't.
Seriously, we have this massive allegation going on. He has a perspective that we're lacking right now. Someone who has worked with him directly, who's seen him interact with his friends in a weird, creepy way, and they're asking him to shut up. It's crazy. His last statement here is actually massive.
See this? What the fuck? Just say sorry and that's it. What the hell? This guy needs to either get off the internet or just get off the planet itself.
You see, if I knew someone and they were being accused of something, and I knew for a fact...
That's a joke. I'm kidding.
Nah, they're a good person. They would never do that. I would back them up and I'd say, listen, as far as I know, they had never done this around me, and I just don't see them doing it. But Quinn had a completely different thing to say, saying, listen, guys, I just don't see it as impossible. Like, this kind of aligns with the person I knew. And at this point, with every single instance involving Aster over the last year, Nijisanji can't keep shielding him anymore. We need accountability. One thing that no one was expecting, including myself, is the fact that Nijisanji put out a statement fairly quickly about this, saying, thank you for your continued support of Nijisanji and Nijisanji Ien. Regarding
Sorry, let me correct that. Thank you for your dwindling support.
the recent controversy, AnyColor has determined the following course of action. We have initiated an independent third-party investigation into these issues and will share the outcome with our
Sure, buddy, sure.
livers and our community. This investigation will focus on the issues of sexual harassment and unauthorized information leakage to outside parties and will include a thorough review of company policies and their implementation. Based on the outcome of this investigation, appropriate disciplinary actions will be taken and updated policies will be shared with our livers and our community. AnyColor is committed to a safe and community-focused environment free from any type of inappropriate behavior.
That's a lie. And I'm sorry, but yeah, they're not gonna look for this. They're gonna look for unauthorized leakage of leakage to outside parties. That's
For
what
all
they're
inquiries
gonna
related to this matter, please contact AnyColor Inc. Now, typically when a corporation says a third-party investigation will take place, it doesn't really mean much. If you guys remember, that's what Mr. Beast did with his own company and found himself not guilty. Great. And what worries me...
Hang on. No, I have to disagree with this. Mujin, he had a lawyer, sorry, a law firm investigate him. I'm sorry, but a law firm is not gonna like ruin their own reputation that they built for years for Mr. Beast. I will follow that. If Sanji like hired a big law firm that is like that would be too big to be under the boots of this company or of any color, then I would like go, you know what? Fair enough. But if there's any ties, which Mr. Beast is not, so like this is bad information from which and yeah, saying yeah, of course you found nothing, and it just doesn't make sense, man. And I'm not just saying that because I've said because of the interview, I thought of this way before when he released the information about the investigation. Like, it just makes no sense. You build a company, a law firm, and then you're just gonna discredit it for for a YouTuber that does borderline brain rot content. I'm sorry, but that's what I think.
Is that not only will they focus on issues of sexual harassment, but they'll also focus on unauthorized information.
Yeah. In this part, man, they could have just left this out. Unauthorized information leakage to outside parties. They could have left this out, but this looks terrible that they put that in there because all that people are seeing is they're not going to focus on this sexual harassment. They're going to focus on this
leakage to outside parties, which tells me they're probably going to focus on the VTuber who leaked this information rather than Aster Arcadia. We'll see what happens, I guess, but I'm not very optimistic. I can guarantee you though that behind the scenes right now, it is an absolute mess at Nijisanji. After Falside's video had released, Aster immediately set his chat on his channel to subscribers only mode. You need to have been subscribed for at least 24 hours before you can even send messages. He then posted this in his stream chat saying, I will have to postpone the cooking stream, sorry, missing some stuff and setup is complicated, thanks for your understanding. It's currently been delayed by around a week. So he's very well aware of it. Nijisanji has told us that they are aware of this too now. What happens remains to be seen, but there's clear favoritism in Nijisanji. We know this by now. So I'm not...
That is funny. Why are you running that? That's a perfect meme for this guy.
Not very optimistic, but hey, I just hope that the people he harassed can get their peace. If something else happens, I will keep you updated though. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I really appreciate it. See you in the next video. Mwah.
Unauthorized kiss? Yeah, that was a good video. The Mr. Beast part was I'm sorry, but sorry to say that companies do this. They hire third party, either law firms or companies that do investigations. And I'm sorry to say, but like a big law firm, that the big law firm that Mr. Beast hired is not gonna throw their reputation away for fucking Mr. Beast. They have a whole legacy to like uphold. That just makes no sense. That's the only part I disagree with Mugen on this, but it was a good video overall. This is weird that they had this guy, they knew about him, their talents told them about him, and they were just like, we have bad PR now. We can't make it worse, so we're just not gonna do anything. Like, that's just crazy, man. This company shouldn't exist. Anyway, shoutouts to None from my Discord server. He's the one who suggested this. And again, guys, if you have a video, anything that you want to suggest to me, consider joining my Discord. Hang out there. We have a whole forum. Also subscribe. We are so close to Christmas, but I think we can hit. If we can manage to hit 500 subs by Christmas, that'll be amazing. 1,000 next year, hopefully. And join my Twitch. I want to hit affiliate. I think I've only got 14 followers currently, but I'd love to hit affiliate. A couple of people watch me stream. I will stream on the weekends, Friday to Sunday, at around 8 p.m. GMT. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.